Welcome to the Oklahoma Municipal Power Authority. OMPA owns and maintains 16 substations and switch yards. Safely performing work to both maintain and upgrade our facilities is critical to the reliable and efficient operation. You are watching this video because OMPA has an absolute commitment to your safety and the safety of everyone working here. Because we value safety above all else, we insist that you comply with all rules and procedures and that you are accountable for all your behaviors and actions. No exceptions. If you are found to be in violation of any rule or procedure at any time, you will be asked to leave and will not be allowed to return.
The following are OMPA's safety principles. Safety is a culture, not a program. We believe all injuries are preventable. When we see something, we say something and do something. Safety is everyone's responsibility and management's accountability. We value the safety of ourselves and others. We never compromise on safety. We report hazards and unsafe behavior to promote positive change. First, we'll cover some of the general rules. Possession of or being under the influence of drugs or alcohol on OMPA property will result in ejection from the site. Firearms are not permitted on any OMPA property. OMPA maintains a tobacco-free workplace, and all tobacco products, vaping, smokeless cigarettes, etc., are prohibited at all OMPA facilities. PPE requirements. There is a variety of PPE that must be worn when working at OMPA substations. FR clothing with a minimum hazard risk category of 2 or 8 calories per centimeter squared, hard hats, safety glasses, and steel toe or composite shoes are required to be worn by contractors at all OMPA substations. Appropriate gloves as needed, including rubber gloves, such as Class 2, Class 3, etc., impact gloves, heat gloves, etc. Any PPE required for the contracted work, such as FR clothing, fall protection harnesses, special gloves, or eyewear, shall be the responsibility of the contractor. OMPA will not lend or allow use of OMPA PPE for any contracted work. Entry and exit notification. When working at any OMPA substation or switchyard, the contractor shall call admin operations at 405-340-8313 upon entry and exit from the substation. Housekeeping. Do not allow combustible materials such as oil-soaked and paint-covered rags, waste, and other materials to accumulate. A clean work site is a safe work site. Emergency situations. At OMPA substations, admin operations is the point of contact for all emergency situations. They can be reached at 405-340-8313. For any emergency that requires evacuation of the substation, all contractor personnel are required to assemble at the designated locations. For a tornado, OMPA substations do not have tornado shelters. Contractors shall leave the site and find a nearby public shelter if available. For all other emergencies, the assembly point shall be the substation's main entry gate. Planning a job. Conduct tailgate meetings before every job, even in a lone worker situation. Identify the steps involved in doing a job. Identify who is responsible for each step. Ensure all needed equipment is correct and present before starting the job. Accidents can be avoided by alerting everyone to the hazards involved and discussing how to deal with the hazards. Look for signs of faulty equipment. Ladder safety. Inspect ladders before use. Always carry ladders below the waist. Never overload a ladder. Only one person on a ladder at a time. Follow the 3-point rule and always have 3 points of contact with the ladder at all times. Never use a metal ladder in a substation. Fall protection. OMPA requires 100% fall protection. This means that individuals must always have a point of connection. Any violation of this rule will result in removal from the property. Fall protection is required whenever the fall potential is greater than 4 feet. Workers should always tie off while using a man lift, even when rails are present. A safety harness with a shock absorbing lanyard shall be used. Safety belts and non-shock absorbing lanyards are not permitted. Where lifelines are utilized, each worker must have his own individual lifeline. Contractor employees required to wear fall protection shall have received proper training from their employer prior to engaging in such work. Cranes. An annual inspection shall be submitted for each crane brought on site. The swing radius of the crane shall be barricaded. Outrigger pads will be used for all lifts. The permissible distance from any part of the crane and its load from high voltage lines should be determined prior to the start of the lift. Chemical exposure. Lead acid is present in the substation DC batteries. When working near these batteries, use caution and wear proper PPE. When adding water to the batteries, be careful not to splash acid onto your eyes or skin. Should acid get splashed onto your skin or eyes, use the nearest eye wash station located in the control building to rinse off appropriately. If working above batteries, ensure they are covered to prevent causing a fault. If PCBs are known or suspected to exist in substation equipment, precautions such as proper PPE, ventilation, and respiratory protection measures should be taken. Compressed nitrogen gas and SF6 gas can displace oxygen and result in asphyxiation. Always exercise caution when working with compressed gases. Arc flash hazards. An arc flash hazard is a dangerous condition associated with the possible release of thermal energy caused by an electric arc. Arc flash is characterized by fiery explosions and deadly shrapnel. Read labels on equipment and obey arc flash hazard zones. Ensure that the proper arc flash clothing is used based on the 4 arc flash categories. Prior to work on equipment, perform a visual inspection to identify any deteriorated insulation or loosened pressure junctions. Substation switching. It is critical to understand how to take the system out of service and how to restore the system back to service. Always use an OMPA-approved switching procedure. Know and understand lockout-tagout procedures and how to use them. Know and understand the equipment you will be operating during any switching procedure. Use rubber gloves when operating switch handles. Use a properly rated and tested hot stick to operate any devices that are energized, such as cutouts, air switches, etc. Electrical hazards. Induction, capacitance, and static charges can be a serious problem in substations and can cause dangerous voltages to be present even on de-energized equipment when it is not properly grounded. Ensure you have properly sized and tested ground cables. Attach all equipment grounds to a ground riser that is solidly connected to the ground grid. Remember to isolate the bus potential transformers and station power transformers as possible backfeed sources. Do not place grounds on corona rings, conductor spaces, or bus pots. Lockout, tagout. Every person performing work under a lockout, tagout clearance must be trained and understand the requirements of the lockout, tagout procedures. Be listed on or signed on to the clearance or switching procedure before performing any work. For substation and switchyard switching procedures, the person must use appropriate hold order cards on devices that are opened or closed as part of the switching procedure, along with the appropriate padlock on the device. Attempting to restart or re-energize equipment or systems that are locked out or tagged out is prohibited, and any violation will result in ejection from the site.
Thank you for watching this video. We're sure your visit to our substation will be a safe one. If you have any questions or need clarifications regarding safety, please address them with your OMPA contract person. We're all counting on you to do your part to help make our workplace injury-free.